So I suppose I should start this final video, in a very classic way. Just taking an elevator up. I'm about to do some of my usual invader tactics, which is splitting up the party. I'm gonna send the host back down on the elevator, which leaves me alone with this blue, which I assume is trying to be a pyromancer. Never even casted a spell. Seems to be walking away from me there, but it's funny that some blues that you encounter lack a total sense of urgency. Like, I'm about to kill you, right up on your ass. Maybe you should run away. But I'm fine with that. It gives me 2 free Estus. Well, not in this case, since I was at full Estus. This host here is gonna hit his weapon a million times on the wall. Just cannot fathom the fact that when you swing a very wide arcing weapon into a very narrow doorway, it's gonna clang off the walls. So he does that over and over and over and over again. Some say he's still banging Ford's Great Mace off of walls and balconies and other inconvenient objects to swing a mace into. I felt like I wanted to include this this particular clip in Invasion as the start of the finale here, because I really struggle against Great Hammer and a lot of hyper armor kind of weapons. It's just something I've noticed, and you don't encounter a ton of them, and usually you can outspace Great Hammers. But Great Hammers, especially Vorts, is just kind of wonky. You end up getting the frost procced on you regardless of whether you actually get hit with it or not. A lot of the time I'll dodge it and still get the frost procced. So I struggle a lot against this weapon. This was kind of me overcoming a long-term struggle, I guess. I still didn't do that great, but still, I thought I played it as well as I could, and I'm happy with the progress I've made as a player. I'm starting to cover up more spots that I previously neglected for how I am as a player in Invasion. So I'm pretty happy with how far I've come. So in the same vein and theme as the Ford's Great Mace, another weapon I struggle greatly with is the Exile Curve Greatsword. I don't know what it is about this particular weapon. Maybe it's just because it's a heavy infusion, and so a lot of people who end up using it have a lot of poise. But against the Murakumo or Herald Curve Greatsword, I don't struggle with it nearly as much. Also, watch this red invader come and totally fuck up my invasion here. It's just really unfortunate, and I don't get a better shot. But anyways, the Exile Greatsword I just kind of struggle with. I never have a good read on it. I don't know, maybe I just get intimidated about its head games. But also, it has a lot more poise than I usually think it does, and it killed me there. Let me hear that super intense Dark Souls music. There we go. So now I'm pissed. Now I want revenge. Not actually pissed. But I do want revenge. This guy is what I come to realize later is super overleveled. Usually you have someone around 125, maybe 200 if they're just totally insane. This guy I think must be somewhere around 500. You'll see later. Anyways, I finally have a good read on him. That spear's not doing him too much good, but it is doing an insane amount of damage for the soul level, which is part of the reason I know he's super fast with the summon. This kills me in 2 hits, but he swings 3 times. But obviously I deserve that point down. If anything, it just makes me more thirsty to go after them again. So I re-invade them later at the Grand Archives, and then I wait. Now, why am I waiting? Because I really want to win this invasion, but also because nothing down there is good enough mob support. You have that whole area near the big wax tank that's just a bunch of scholars who don't do real damage and die in 2 hits, and then you have the dark room with a bunch of weird seeth claws sticking out of the walls, and that's not good enough mob support. This right here is my best bet if I'm gonna get them. This trap, this landing right here that they're gonna come up, has thralls. It has scholars that throw wax at you. It's a great little trap area. So this is where I've waited this long ass time to make my ambush. So I'm thinking they're gonna come up by that ladder, which a lot of parties do, but now they're gonna go down this corridor over here, or this balcony, I guess. I'm gonna go and try to ambush them here, a little late. But the important thing here is that I get them separated. That's what I really need to happen. So get the gold separated. I know he's going to go for turn birth. That's most of what he did with that spear. And I know that's going to be a lot of his game. So my plan for this is just to stay on him, and every time he tries to attack, just attack him right back and get my full 2 hits. Works quite well. How long do you think this host is going to last without his super overlevel phantom? Also, look how many souls I get in the corner. I originally thought I got close to like 50,000 souls. No, it was 500,000 souls. This guy must have been at level like 500, 600. I bought a lot of fire bombs with those souls, so that was nice. So this is kind of a strange one. This was a very long invasion that I'm just going to tell you from the get-go. I did not win. But I really liked how I played. I wasn't, 100% pleased with it because I had a couple chances to win. Really only like 1 or 2. But I had my chances and I couldn't pull it off. But it's pretty representative of where I'm at as a player. It shows off some things I've done well, that I've worked on and accomplished, and shows off some things that I could get better at doing. So, for starters, two-handed greatsword play is still good, really good for me. That's still my bread and butter. Taunting's a little bit unnecessary. I thought he was someone else that I had fought earlier, but he was not. So I feel a little bad about taunting some properly summoned phantom that I killed. But here I'm trying to go for the roll backstep. I'm not quite getting it. I'm just rolling directly into him. But yeah, my two-handed greatsword play is still good. It's still very effective against greatswords, ultra greatswords, and especially straight swords. But I could really use some work. I'm going to pause that thought to talk about my panicking and Estus use. I'm just panicking here. I'm just getting easily roll caught. I used to be super disciplined with how and when I took Estus. Real quick right here, I'm going to switch to one-handed greatsword so I can turn around and turn over this guy much more effectively than if I had just kept it in 2 hands. But yeah, that's, as I was saying, that's one thing I can get better at is being more disciplined with my Estus use. I used to be really disciplined about it. I would like make sure I had the right amount of space before I felt I could heal. Also, nice rolling backstab. And right here, I'm going to do the wake up with the weapon art of the Aquamarine Dagger, which is super effective as wake up. I really need to do that more instead of waiting for them to get all the way up and then going for it. This is rough for me to watch, which is why I sped it up, because this is pretty much where I lost the invasion. I basically just get turned and burned for most of the sped up part of it, because this guy's just going to play more passively than I want him to. And this is something I need to work on, is I should have probably just made the switch to a straight sword here, and just punished him for that passive play, but instead, I'm the one getting punished for being too aggressive. And again, I'm going to take my Estus when I shouldn't, and basically lose all of that health I gained back. So now I'm out of Estus, and there's a blue on their way. So I'm gonna take off and use a Divine Blessing, because I'm really enjoying this. I'm enjoying this fight. It's been really good so far, and unfortunately don't take any damage from that instance. So I'm gonna two-hand greatsword it here, just trying to get in my damage where I can. This guy's gonna try to parry the weapon art, which doesn't work. A weapon art, I'm pretty sure, at least the shockwave on it is not parryable, and the timing is just so off that I've never seen anyone able to parry it. And then they end up just taking a fuckload of damage from just face tanking the weapon art and the sword part of the weapon art. I'm going to talk a little bit about two-handed greatsword play. I've gotten a lot of comments recently, and like private messages of people saying, "Hey, like, why don't you try, offhanding that greatsword? Why don't you get something like the Flamberge, or like the Claymore, and like put a S-stock or maybe like a hand axe in that offhand?" And the reason I haven't done that is just because I never encounter a lot of like ultra talented players at this level that will fall for that. Any ultra talented player I'm gonna encounter at this level is probably just gonna kick my ass because of that. I'm not very used to it. It's something I can work on, and I'm gonna make a heavy character pretty soon that uses like the offhand hand axe, so I'm gonna get a little better at it. But the with this particular build, I don't necessarily want to. The Greatsword of Judgment is not great as a offhand weapon because it needs to be buffed, and that buff, that's where you get all your damage from. It's an easy to apply buff, but you need to have it in two hands in order to apply it. So, kind of a bummer. That's why I've been holding off on this character, at least, from offhanding things. What I'm about to do soon with this character is a little different. Might include some offhand stuff, maybe. Switch to the straight sword here, which was a much better choice and something I should have done a lot earlier. I also lose the fight here because I've decided to fight two people in open space. Now I get them in the straight sword hell blender here. I run out of stamina, which is just kind of dumb of me because I could have roll caught the blue over there, and that would have made this fight super manageable, given me 2 more Estus, but instead I didn't, and I just ran out of stamina like a big dumb idiot. So that was pretty much my last chance to win, but I do play decent enough here, but it's just not enough. I've made the mistake of fighting 2 people, one of which is a host in a wide open space, and it's not even that wide open, so I'm getting stuck on walls and stuck on pillars. I have no space to properly heal, and so I'm just kind of getting my ass kicked. What I really should have done is just taken off. Fighting them here is kind of a dumb idea, and it's ultimately what cost me the invasion. So, going forward, those are the biggest things for me, is knowing when to flee, knowing when to run, knowing when to properly make space and take an Estus. Well, not necessarily knowing when to, but being more disciplined about it. That forked blue tongue I got from killing the blue actually put me to 699, so this next invasion is the final pale tongue in the series. So as this is my last invasion, just wanted to say thank you guys for watching this series. Sorry, this is my last invasion at this soul level. I'm not like deleting this character or anything. I'm moving up. I have some plans for old Yurie here. But most of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching these videos. I know right now I'm only getting like 9-10 views a video, and that's really awesome. That's not only to me, that's a ton. And that just means a ton to me. I can't quite describe how much that means to me that people want to talk and communicate with me about this really beautiful game. So, with all that being said, I have a little bit of unfinished business to do on this playthrough.
You are no ordinary woman. All these sorceries, and you've mastered every one. If this were the Dragon School, you'd be, well, overtly despised and banished from the place. Well, I suppose it's time I packed my bags. I would hate to see our agreement end sourly. Better left, tucked away, as a pleasant memory. Promise to stay safe. It's been nice running our own little school.
Orbeck describing this as a pleasant memory to be tucked away is exactly how I feel about just this character and this journey as well. But it's time to move on. It's time to bring Yurie up to a whole nother level. After all, she is a Bloodborne character, and I feel that she is deserving of a very Bloodborne weapon, a very Bloodborne theme and motif in her playstyle. So that's what we're on to next. But for now, this is it for Yurie's quest for 700 Pale Tongues. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one with something quite a bit different.